Today, we're going to dive into a really tough and frankly painful topic. What happens when someone stays in a marriage physically, but is emotionally and mentally checked out, building a completely separate life in secret? It's this hidden world of deception, and we're going to unpack how and why this happens.
Okay, right off the bat, I want to be super clear about something. This is not about pointing fingers or attacking anyone. The goal here is to really understand a destructive pattern of behavior and, to acknowledge the very real, very deep harm it causes to everybody involved. So, what does this hidden life even look like? Well, it usually starts with a deep emotional disconnection in the relationship. But instead of facing that problem head-on or deciding to leave, one partner just stays. They're physically there, but they're secretly getting their main emotional connection from somewhere or someone else. It's like they're a ghost in their own home. They are there, but at the same time, they're completely gone.
So first, let's just take a closer look at the pattern itself. It's hidden on purpose, right? And that secrecy is exactly what makes it so incredibly damaging.
This brings up the big question, probably the one you're all thinking. Why? Why do this? Why not just leave? Well, the reasons are almost always tangled up in avoidance and fear, not, as some might think, in a genuine desire to protect anybody.
And this is really where the self-deception kicks in big time. The person who's living this secret life, they often tell themselves a story. The story is, I'm doing this to protect my family from pain. But if we're being honest, the ethical reality is that it's just a profound and harmful way to avoid responsibility. And in the end, it causes so much more damage than the truth ever could have.
So what's actually driving all this avoidance? When you peel back all the layers, it usually comes down to two really powerful core fears. First, a deep, paralyzing fear of confrontation. And second, an equally strong fear of the consequences. The messy, painful, unpredictable fallout of a breakup or a divorce.
And this choice to avoid the truth, it has a massive cost. And it goes so far beyond just the initial betrayal. We're talking about something way more fundamental and way more damaging.
At the absolute heart of all this damage is the violation of a basic human right, informed consent. Think about it. We all deserve the ability to make choices about our own lives based on what's actually true. When you deceive someone this deeply, you are literally stealing their ability to consent to the life they are living.
And this shows you perfectly how the damage isn't just one bad thing that happens. It's a snowball effect. It escalates. It starts small, internally, with emotional disconnection. That leads to step 2, seeking connection somewhere else. But it's step 3, the ongoing deception. That's the real poison here. Because that's what leads to the final and most profound harm. The complete and total denial of your partner's autonomy.
Just try to put yourself in those shoes for a second. The partner who's being lied to is making daily decisions about their health, their money, their future, their body, all based on a reality that is a complete fiction. Their entire world is built on a lie. And that's not just a betrayal, it's a devastating violation of their very identity and their trust in reality itself.
Okay, so the damage is obviously severe, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. So how does anyone even begin to heal from this? Well, it's probably not surprising that the only path forward starts by getting rid of the one thing that caused all the harm in the first place, the deception. This entire destructive pattern is fueled by fear, right? So the only real antidote, the absolute starting line for any kind of healing is to finally replace that fear with truth, no matter how hard, no matter how scary that truth might be.
And let's be really, really clear about this. This is not a situation you should try to navigate on your own. The level of betrayal here and the complex reasons behind it, it absolutely requires professional support. And that goes for both people. It's crucial for the partner who is betrayed to help them process the trauma. And it's just as crucial for the person who is deceptive to help them understand their own patterns of avoidance so they don't do it again.
This is such a critical point. Figuring out the fears and motivations behind the deception is vital, for sure. It's how the person who did it can make sure they don't repeat this awful pattern. But, and this is a big but, understanding why something happened is not the same as excusing it. The harm was real, it was damaging, and owning that fully is a non-negotiable part of this whole process.
Which really brings us to a final, really important question to think about. The justification for all this, remember, is often this twisted idea of protection. But when you withhold the truth from someone, are you really protecting them? Or are you just controlling their reality to protect yourself?
It forces all of us to ask, in any relationship, where is that line? When does protection cross over and just become control?
And, of course, just a necessary reminder here at the end. We put this explainer together for educational and reflective purposes. The issues we've talked about are incredibly serious, and they can be traumatic. This is in no way a substitute for professional mental health care. So if any of this hit home for you, please reach out and get support from a qualified professional.